Hi students, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss expressions for the location of center of mass in case of a continuous mass distributed bodies. In the first video we have learnt the location of center of mass in case of discrete particles system. Now let us revisit one important equation what I have discussed in the first video. In case of discrete particles system, the x-coordinate of center of mass of system of particles is given by xcm is equal to m1x1 plus m2x2 plus so on divided by m1 plus m2 plus so on. See, this equation will be helpful to locate the x-coordinate of center of mass in case of discrete particles system. We cannot use the equation as it is for the continuous mass distributed bodies. So we have to modify this equation and we have to apply that equation in case of continuous mass distributed bodies. First of all, let us look at the interpretation of this particular equation. If you look at the numerator part, we are having m1x1 plus m2x2 so on. So this numerator part actually represents the sum of moment of masses of all the particles about the y-axis. Okay, I make the point more clear. Just look at this diagram. See, if you consider the particles like this of masses m1 and m2 so on, the two coordinates of this particle of mass m1 are x1 comma y1 are the coordinates of this particle m1. x1 is the distance of this particle from y-axis. y1 is the distance of this particle from x-axis. Therefore, this product m1 x1 represents moment of mass of this first particle from y-axis or about y-axis. m2 x2 represents moment of mass of the second particle about y-axis. Therefore, the total numerator factor represents the sum of moment of masses of all the particles about y-axis divided by sum of masses of all the particles. Okay, now come to the case of continuous mass distributed body. So in case of continuous mass distributed body, which equation will come into play? That part we will see. Take an example like this. Suppose it is an example of a thin rod. This is y-axis. If you want to locate the position of center of mass of this continuous mass distributed body from y-axis, first we have to construct one small element of length dx and which is at a distance x from y-axis. This small element, it represents a small particle of that continuous mass distributed rod. So in the first step we have to calculate the moment of mass of this particle about y-axis. If dm is the mass of this small element or that particle, then the moment of mass of this particle about y-axis will be given by dm into x. If you look at this equation, in the numerator part we are having the sum of moment of masses of all the particles about y-axis we are having. For that purpose, here we use the concept of integration. See, dm into x represents moment of mass of one particle of the rod about y-axis. We require the sum of moment of masses of all such type of particles in the rod about y-axis. So for that we use integration. That means in case of continuous mass distributed bodies, we replace this numerator factor by means of integral dm into x. I hope you are following this particular point. Come to the denominator part. Denominator part represents sum of masses of all the particles. Here the mass of one particle is dm. So we have to add masses of all such type of particles in the rod. Therefore, we replace that denominator factor in the equation with integral dm. So please remember, all of you, in case of continuous mass distributed bodies, to locate the x coordinate of center of mass of that particular body, we use the equation xcm will be equal to integral dm into x divided by integral dm. Similarly, y coordinate of center of mass of that continuous mass distributed body will be given as integral dm into y divided by integral dm. Actually, in case of continuous mass distributed bodies, depending upon the nature of that mass distribution, we are having three types. If that mass may be distributed lengthwise, so the first type will be linear mass distributed bodies. Linear mass distributed body. Second one will be that mass may be distributed over area. So second type will be surface mass distributed bodies. That mass may be distributed over volume. So third one will be volume mass distributed bodies. First of all, you should have basic idea of calculation of mass of an element in all these three cases. So brief idea I give you relating to this. Just look at this part. If you consider the case of linear mass distribution, mass of an element dm will be given by linear density into length of the element. See, suppose this is a small rod. In this small rod, we are constructing one small element of length dx. If lambda is the linear density of this particular rod, then the mass of this element will be given by linear density into length of that element. Linear density is nothing but mass per unit length, where m is the total mass of the rod, L is the length of the rod. That means, if you know the linear density of that particular rod, we can calculate the length of any element. We can calculate the mass of any element of length dx by using this particular equation, m by L into dx. If you come to the case of surface mass distribution, mass of an element will be given by surface density sigma into area of the elements. Surface density is nothing but mass per unit area into dA. Mass of the body divided by area into area of the element what we are constructing. Similarly, in case of volume mass distribution, mass of an element will be given by density rho into volume of the elements. Density is nothing but mass by volume into volume of the elements. You are very much familiar with these basic points. No need to spend much time with these equations. So these are the three types: linear mass, surface mass distribution, and volume mass distribution. In these continuous mass distributed bodies, in three different cases we have to practice the equations. First one will be symmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. Second one will be symmetrical and non-uniform mass distributed bodies. Third one will be unsymmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. I hope you know the meaning of what is meant by symmetrical. Suppose see, if you take an example of a thin rod, this rod is symmetrical about the axis passing through the center of the rod. Suppose this is a ring, circular ring. This ring is symmetrical about this y-axis. It is also symmetrical about x-axis. Come to the meaning of what is meant by uniform. Uniform mass distribution. If distribution of mass is said to be uniform, then the density should be constant. It's a simple point which must be practiced thoroughly. Look at this first case. Symmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. One simple example I will discuss for this case. Take an example of thin uniform rods. Symmetrical and uniform rods. Now let us locate the position of center of mass of this thin uniform rod from y-axis. For that, first of all, let us construct one small element of length dx and which is at a distance x from this y-axis. Mass of this rod is m and the length of this rod is, say for example, L. Already we have discussed to locate the position of center of mass in case of continuous mass distributed bodies. Xcm will be equal to integral dm into x divided by integral dm. In this equation, dm represents mass of an element or mass of a particle. Here we have constructed a small particle of length dx. Therefore, the mass of that element will be given by lambda into dx. Here, distribution of mass is linear. In case of linear mass distributed bodies, mass of an element will be calculated by using this equation, where lambda represents linear density of that particular rod. Lambda into dx, mass per unit length. As the distribution of mass is uniform, this lambda remains a constant. Already I told you, density remains a constant. Here lambda is a constant factor. Okay, now let us substitute this dm in that particular equation with proper limits. So xcm will be equal to integral lambda dx into x divided by integral lambda into dx, where limits of x are from 0 to L. X is equal to 0 to L. As lambda is constant in this equation, the factor will be cancelled. You can eliminate that. Therefore, this will be equal to integral x dx. Nothing but x square by 2. After substituting limits, it will become L square by 2 divided by integral dx. Nothing but x. Limits are from 0 to L. After substituting limits, it will become L. So that will be equal to L by 2. So in case of thin uniform rod, symmetrical uniform rod, the location of the center of mass is at a distance L by 2 from one end. So from this simple example, we can conclude one very, very important point. In case of symmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies, the center of mass of that body always coincides with the geometric center of the body. It's a very simple point which must be practiced. You may take any symmetrical and uniform mass distributed body. It always coincides with the geometric center. If you take an example of symmetrical and uniform mass distributed body like a ring, uniform ring, it is symmetrical about x-axis and it is also symmetrical about y-axis. At the point of intersection of this symmetrical axis, that center of mass will come into play. Center of mass always coincides with the geometric center. This is the first case, symmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. Come to the second case. Second case is symmetrical. The body is maintaining symmetry only, but it is not uniform. Non-uniform mass distributed body, which means that the density factor is not constant. Then how do we deal such type of case? Let me explain clearly here by taking one simple example. Here also, I consider an example of thin symmetrical rod, but it is not uniform. That means the density of that rod is changing. So relating to this example, if any numerical is given in the competitive examinations, clearly they provide data relating to that density, how that density is changing. Based on that, we can locate the position of center of mass. That method will be same. What I have done in the first case, here also same thing will be repeated. See, look at this example. Suppose, as an example, let us consider the linear density of that particular rod is changing according to this equation, k into x, where k is a constant, x is distance from one end of the rod. It is a thin symmetrical rod. It is maintaining symmetry about this central axis, but which is not uniform. Non-uniform rod. Density is changing according to this equation. Whether it may be uniform mass distributed body or non-uniform mass distributed body, the x coordinate of center of mass will be calculated by using the same equation. xm will be equal to integral dm into x divided by integral dm. Here dm represents mass of this small element what we are constructing. Mass of this element of length dx. As the distribution of mass is linear, therefore mass of that element will be lambda into dx. But in this example, lambda is not constant. In previous example, as the distribution of mass is uniform, that lambda we have taken as constant. Okay, now that lambda they have given as kx. Kx into dx. This is mass of an element. By substituting this in that particular equation, xm will be equal to integral kx dx into x divided by integral kx into dx. Limits of x are from 0 to l. Here k is constant, so we can eliminate that k in the equation. Integral x square dx. Therefore, it will become x cube by 3. By substituting limits, it will become L cube by 3 divided by integral x dx. X square by 2. After substituting limits, it will become L square by 2. So, by solving this, it will come out to be 2L by 3. See, in the previous example and this example, the rod is maintaining symmetry about this axis. It is symmetrical. But in the second example, it is not uniform mass distributed body. So whatever may be the case, this is the method we are having. So far we have covered two cases. Symmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies we have done. Second, symmetrical non-uniform mass distributed bodies we have completed. Come to the third case, unsymmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. So unsymmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies cases, examples are important for the competitive examination. So some important cases I will discuss very clearly. We will proceed with this part. I am going to give list of formulae in nearly some 7 to 8 unsymmetrical and uniform mass distributed bodies. I am not going to derive equations for these cases now. Just look at these examples. First one will be an arc-shaped wire. An arc-shaped wire of radius r, which is subtending an angle theta at the center. Arc-shaped wire of radius r, which is subtending an angle theta at the center. See, if you look at this arc-shaped wire, this arc-shaped wire is symmetrical about an axis passing through point O. About this axis it is symmetrical. So when we fold this wire about that axis, both parts will coincide. But this arc-shaped wire is not symmetrical about x-axis. As this wire is symmetrical about y-axis, the center of mass of that arc-shaped wire, definitely it lies over that y-axis somewhere here. Somewhere. Now, we have to locate the position of center of mass of this arc-shaped wire from x-axis, which means it represents YCM. In fact, x coordinate of center of mass of this arc-shaped wire will be equal to 0 because it lies over y-axis. Only y coordinate we have to calculate. For calculation of that y coordinate, we can use the equation YCM is equal to integral dm into y divided by integral dm. I am not moving behind that derivation. Final equation I will give you. Those formula you can practice. So in this case, YCM will be equal to 2r sin theta by 2 divided by theta is the equation. Where theta is the angle subtended by that arc at the center. It is the first example, arc-shaped wire. Come to the second one as semicircular wire. When this angle theta, if it is 180 degrees, then this arc will be extended and it will form semicircular wire. 180 degrees or pi radians. So in case of semicircular wire of radius r, the location of the center of mass will be somewhere here. This is YCM. Therefore, YCM, y coordinate of center of mass of this semicircular wire, we will get by substituting the theta as 180 degrees in this equation. Therefore, it will become 2r, this will become 1, theta is pi. 2r by pi is an expression for center of mass, location of center of mass in case of semicircular wire. These two examples come under linear mass distributed bodies. Come to the third case. Take an example of a sector. It's a surface mass distributed body. Sector. This sector is also symmetrical about this y-axis. So the location of the center of mass will be somewhere here in case of a sector. This is YCM. So YCM will be equal to 4r by 3 into sin theta by 2 divided by theta is the equation. 4r by 3 into sin theta by 2 divided by theta. Fourth one will be semicircular disc. See, this angle is theta. When this angle theta is 180 degrees, that sector will spread and it will form semicircular disc. This is YCM. So YCM is equal to, by substituting that theta is equal to 180 degrees, it will come out to be 4r by 3 pi. This formula you have to memorize. Next, fifth case. Fifth case is hollow hemisphere. Here it is an example of hollow hemisphere of radius r. It is also symmetrical about y-axis. This is x-axis. This is the location of center of mass. That location of center of mass from x-axis is at a distance of r by 2. Very easily you can practice this equation. Next one will be hollow cone. In case of hollow cone of height h, height of the cone is h. In this case, YCM will be equal to h by 3. Center of mass will be at a height of h by 3 from the base of the cone. So these four examples actually come under surface mass distributed bodies: sector, semicircular disc, hollow hemisphere and hollow cone. Now let us look at two more simple examples which come under volume mass distributed bodies. Seventh one will be solid hemisphere. Solid hemisphere. In case of solid hemisphere of radius r, that location of center of mass is at a height 3r by 8 from the base. And the last case is solid cone. In case of solid cone, from the base, the center of mass is at a height h by 4. These are the 8 cases. In these 8 cases, we just practice the equations. See, with this we come to the end of what we call continuous mass distributed bodies. Some simple points, in fact, I have not discussed in this revision program, like the definition of center of gravity and other simple points. For those simple points, you please go through the material ones. And one more important concept, in fact, is left over, which is nothing but center of mass frame of reference. That particular part I will discuss in the next video when we start those numerical applications. In the next video, I will explain some of the important numerical applications. Then you will understand how to apply these concepts in solving numericals for the competitive examinations. Okay, we'll meet in the next video.